Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Africa Diaspora Unity. I just want to welcome you to this platform once again, and thank you for your support. For all of you that have watched some of the videos that I've put out, and there are many more that are going to come forth, and the interviews I'm yet to conduct. I just want you to know that it's going to be something great. Can't wait for you to engage with us and see what's going to happen. So, without further ado, I just want to talk about one or two things which I feel that are so important. I had some replies to the last video. A gentleman that's very wise and has given some good feedback. Just wanted to also touch on some of the points that he highlighted. What does Africa Diaspora Unity mean, and what does it stand for? It stands for all Africans who are based in the diasporas, that's in the Americas, USAs, and other continents in the world, Europe, Asia, Australia's. I'm making out a call to all of them to consider coming back to Africa. Coming back to Africa is specifically for permanence, for them to come and reside here permanently, for them to come and establish, a lot of things that that are waiting for them here. First and foremost, every continent has got challenges. I know a lot of people out there are going to say, well, there's corruption in Africa. We've seen blacks killing blacks, black people killing black people. We've seen injustice. There's no continent that's not free of such. And I think if you look at some of these other continents, the injustices and what they're just inverted. It's even worse. Like, you've got extreme injustice in certain continents. I won't name them, but per se, they are locking up people of color with the highest number worldwide. They're seeing to it that they're not playing games when it comes to putting the black man behind bars. And the whole aim for me is, if you are able to keep a person locked down, they're unable to fulfill the destiny that was purpose for them, that they were sent on this earth to achieve. Why have I started this channel? This channel is here to enlighten and educate. It's not here to segregate or divide. I want you to have an open mind when I'm talking about some of these issues. These are not really debates. As a young person, or I consider myself being a young person because I'm in my early 40s, but I want to stand for something that a lot of the youth out there are going to join and stand with me in, and that is calling back the African race all over the world to consider coming back to settle in the motherland, the true promised land. This is the place where in history you find that the origins of life started here in Africa, here in Egypt. You find that the first artifacts and the first bones and archaeological discoveries were found here in Africa. So it's without us wasting a lot of time and thinking of all the reasons why we should not move to a place where you are free, to a place where you are eating natural food and you don't have the risk of I mean, just getting some unknown cancer and things like that, to a place where um, you can own land. You can own land here, and you can own your own piece of land. You can do what you want to do with that land. You can actually be a landlord. There's a big movement of young Black entrepreneurs here in Africa that are owning properties, that are owning pieces of land, and they are building housing complexes. There's a lot going on here in Africa that a lot of people don't know about, but the media and all the different platforms are trying as hard as possible to paint the worst image of Africa, so that people who've lived in the West for a long time will always think that there's nothing going on here. And they'll always think that we are some so-called classified fourth world nation or something like that. It's really sad. I really feel sad about it. I mean, I'm an airline pilot. I fly all over the world. There's no part of the world that I haven't been to. And I can witness to you. I mean, I might even have been to where you are living, right, where whoever's watching. But I can tell you that the level of technology, the level of infrastructure development that has been taking place over the last 10, 20 years in Africa, in the different countries, is beyond what you can imagine. There's a lot that's happening here in Africa, and that I'm saying to those of you in the diaspora who know that you've been working too long, you've stayed too long away from where you belong, and you've kind of like adapted, because you see the biggest problem that we face is there's a big brain drain. There's a big brain drain. A lot of skills have been sold overseas. It started with the slave trade, where they first started taking the hardest workers, the most fit people here, and they started selling them and taking them on ships. And remember, they would select only the toughest to enjoy that journey. A lot of them wouldn't make it. From Sierra Leone, from Cape Town, from all the different ports in Ghana, they were sent. In Liberia, they were sent to Europe and Americas. And it's sad because the brain drain started from that time and continued persisting. And right now, what's happening is that we have a lot of highly skilled. I think when I was in Los Angeles, you'll find a lot of the Black plastic surgeons are all from Nigeria. They're all working there. When I was in Europe, in Copenhagen, Denmark, and those places, you'll find the most skillful artists, are coming from Africa. They've gone there. They've gone for greener pastures. They've gone because they were told that you can make a lot of money and send that money back home. And this is happening across the board. It's not just Africa, even in Europe, in Poland and all these different countries, you have people who are told that if you go and work in the UKs, you can raise enough money and live a better life. So let's not just look at it from the African perspective. Let's look at it. That's why I said on this channel, let's be broad in our spectrum of looking at things. But my aim is to educate, to enlighten, and to allow you to make a decision at the end of the day that's going to help you. Based on some of the facts that I'm giving you, that in terms of health, your health, look at the health sphere, and in that sphere of health in our lives, look at the food that you're eating. Is it healthy? And let's look at the food that we're eating here in Africa. We got the best natural fruits. In fact, a lot of our fruits are being exported in Africa, all over the world. A lot of our fruits and vegetables and our flowers, roses, you name it, they're being exported. They're being grown here in Africa and they're being exported out to countries all over the world. So you see, during the pandemic, why am I saying you're losing out? You're losing out on a lot of opportunities. A lot of the health and immune boosting natural ingredients, whether it's ginger, whether it's paprika, whether it's honey, or you name it. These things are in abundance. And where are they found? They're found here in Africa. And the entrepreneurs who are here in Africa have taken, a lot of them have taken up the challenge, and they've taken up the task of getting into that industry, producing these things on a large scale. And now with the latest information technology we have in the world, that's already here in Africa, drop shipping and the courier services and you name it, and e-commerce, they are making money, and serious money, like a lot of money converted in US dollars or foreign currency. It's a lot. And they're exporting these natural products worldwide, you see. So there are many avenues for you to come back to Africa and put your heads together into. And first of all, be an entrepreneur in your own continent. Yes, there's always going to be requirements. How long does it take for you to facilitate this, and how long does that take, and whatever? And understand that. But what I'm trying to point at is time is going. For how long are you going to continue working in a place where you're not sure whether you ever own a property? When you can own one here, when you can buy the piece of land here, start building. I'm going to upload pictures of a residential area not far from where I live, where it was just a giant stand and people started building. And if I tell you the price of those stands, there are 10,000 square meter stands. And people are building beautiful homes there. What am I saying? I'm saying there's so much, opportunity. And that's why I started this channel. I've started this channel because I don't need likes. I don't need I don't need money from a platform. What I'm trying to do is help. I'm trying to help my fellow Black brothers and sisters overseas who are hearing all kinds of wrong information. And I'm trying to help you to make up your mind. And even if it means you just coming on holiday, come on holiday, come and see what's going on. And then make up your mind after, Secondly, let's talk about identity. Every person needs to know, where they come from. And when you don't really know where you come from, I'm telling you, that really affects you. It affects you psychologically. It affects you in a lot of different spheres in your life. And you have a lot of people, overseas that were taken to a country that they don't know. They were stripped of their identity. And to this day, they just know that, oh, well, because I was born here, but they don't really know where their ancestors are from. They don't really know where their forefathers are from. And if you speak to an Italian will tell you, I know my great-great-grandfather. If you speak to somebody from Switzerland, he'll tell you, oh, my great-grandfather stayed here. And they'll tell you, I will live in Switzerland and I will never leave this place. And if you talk to somebody from who's British, they'll tell you, my great-grandfather was based in Ireland or in Wales or wherever, and I'll never leave this place. I'm the fourth or fifth generation. But look at Africa. When you ask an African overseas, a so-called, whatever he'll be calling himself, he will say, well, I was born here, but it ends there. They're not sure. They don't really know. Only a few have tried to trace their lineage and history. But what I'm trying to tell you is that no matter how you try to trace it, you are from Africa. And the moment you come back to Africa, your true identity, there's something that's going to happen to you when you get here. Spiritually, there's something that's going to happen to you that's going to clear your mind, that's going to put you at peace, that's going to align you and prepare you for your destiny. You see, even when we read the scriptures, I'm talking to those who might be Christian, who might not be Christian. It doesn't matter what faith you're from, but the history remains the same. You find Moses led the people out of a land which was not theirs, but he led them to a land that they were promised by God for them to be in. It's the same thing. You see, you have to be in the right place for you to maximize your potential. Or your potential is being controlled and manipulated by the forces at which are at play in that place where you are. Let me say that again. You will thrive and you will maximize your potential when you are in a place where you belong and where you are birthed. But as long as you are in a foreign place, you are going to succeed, but your success can always be at the hands and at the mercy of those that originate from that place where you don't originate from. And we've seen this. I mean, a lot of musicians have died poor. A lot of musicians have failed to fight for rights, even to own their own record labels. We can count the ones who did. I think it was us. Prince was able to get full ownership. Who else? There are very few, we can count them. And the rest, what's the story? Some of them died, some of them are still there, but they're struggling. Why? Because, like what I said, when you're in a place where you were birthed, where you originate from, there is something that's going to happen to you that's going to allow you to maximize your potential. Because first and foremost, it's your land. Yes, all you Africans in the diaspora, Africa is your land. You're missing out, please. You are missing out on opportunities. You are missing out on a healthy life. You're missing out on longevity. You're missing out on preparing for your generations to live wealthy and successful and to be owners and not working 9 to 5 jobs and not living under stress and paycheck to paycheck and being evicted and all those things. Let me tell you, there is a solution. And what I can tell you is the first thing you can do, the first step you can do, there's the internet, there is YouTube, there is the platforms right now that all you have to do is Google and research as much information as you want regarding the 55 beautiful countries in this continent and see what's going on. Google South Africa, where I am right now. Google Tanzania. Google Kenya. Google Ghana. Liberia. The different countries, and begin to see what's going on and see the opportunities. And Africa needs you. Africa needs you to come here. Why am I saying it needs you? Because it needs you spiritually for you to come back and realign yourself with your purpose, realign yourself from where you originated from. Even if you're not able to trace your exact ancestors, but they came from here. Realign yourself and when you stand on the land here in Africa, whatever you speak will begin to take fold because it's the soil from which you are birthed. It's the soil from where you originate. I don't know if this is resonating with you because it's a spiritual struggle when you're overseas. You have to pray harder. You have to be. That's why even the people of who went on the slave trade, though most of them was very serious in their spirituality. if they had not been, it was going to have its adverse effects on the generations that followed. That's why you have a lot of music artists, you have a lot of, they're all originating from the hard prayers and the dedication that they had with the Lord, because they were in a foreign land and they had to succeed. They had to see their generations become something tomorrow. I'm making this video without any fear. You see, a black man, a black woman who was never born to beg. Here in Africa, we know that we originate. My great grandfathers, it doesn't matter how far I trace them, including yours, were kings and were queens. They were born to rule. They were born to reign. They were never born to beg. They were never born to be given a half handout. When you know where you're from, you will prosper wherever you go, anywhere in the world. And that's why I want you to come and have a touch of this reality. I want you to come and understand what it is that makes up who you are. And when that has happened to you, you won't be having people killing each other in overseas. You won't be having gang shootings and all those things happening. Why? Because you know who you are, and you become more determined, you become more focused, and you know that, okay, I was born for a purpose. There's a divine roadmap that was set for me. I'm not here by mistake. So watch even the words that you're saying. I'm speaking to all those that might be watching. Yes, we've had people in the past who have died for what they speak. But what is better? Is it not better to die for what you speak than not to even speak about anything at all? Think about it. You have to stand for what is right. And one person that's standing for what is right can gather a lot of people and gather a movement, and it can multiply, and God willing, true change can start happening. I don't believe that everything is lost. No, I believe that Africa is the future. And whether you like it or not, and whether you believe me or not, just watch what is going to happen. Africa is the future. It's preparing itself with all the resources that it has. My connection seems to have cut down. Just waiting for it to reconnect.